and welcome to the podcast, episode 1.
Where we are going to rant. Yeah.
We're gonna rant about Gorillaz. Yeah.
Yes.
Episode 1 is just gonna be us talking about Gorillaz. My name is Jack, and I'm like a mega fan of the band. I basically know everything about it. Well, maybe not everything because I haven't watched the documentaries.
And I'm just a casual fan who's here to hear Jack rant. My name's Aída.
Yes, that's known as an intro.
Oh, and we have a cat with us.
I don't. I think there's one of my cats nearby, but I don't know.
How many cats do you have again?
I have 5 cats. I used to have...
Damn.
One of our cats, because we live out in the middle of nowhere. You already know this because I've said it multiple times, but because we live out in the middle of nowhere, one of our cats ran away. And it basically made one of my brothers like super paranoid about letting cats outside and stuff because he doesn't want them to run away, but like they always come back.
That makes sense. We just keep our cat on a leash.
That's a good idea. We used to have our cats on a leash, but that was back when we lived in like a town and stuff. Before we lived out in the country. The country. I'm never doing that accent again. If you hear me do that accent again,
good idea.
Blow me up. Seriously. Like,
good ideas.
The only thing that I've done, that I've gotten used to being like a country in quotation marks person, is I've said y'all. That's the only thing I say that makes me a country person. Other than that, I am not.
That makes sense.
At all.
I've literally never lived in a country. I'm just from the city, so
I don't know. I wish I was in the city, where I could be around people. That'd be great.
Someone's got to drag you out of there.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the topic, Gorillaz. What was your first experience with the band?
Probably my dad just playing some of the songs. I don't remember when it was. I was too young.
Yeah.
And I'd probably heard the songs a couple times. Then you showed me a few more songs. And that's when I finally learned the name of the band. And you dragged me into this.
Yes. We actually tried.
It's really cool. So.
Yeah, the band is awesome. We've actually tried making this podcast before. We made 2 episodes, one about the first album and then the other about G-sides. I still have those files on my computer, actually.
Oh, nice.
But now...
That could come in handy if you decide to edit this.
That is true. But now we're doing it again, except... we're probably not going to be able to play any of the songs during the episode. What I was thinking is we could...
which is really sad.
Yeah. We could probably like listen to the albums like during the week before the episode about that album. Like at first it would be Gorillaz.
And then have the podcast like a review thing, right?
Yeah, kind of like a review and talking about the album and lore and characters and stuff. Anyways, my first experience with the album, not the album, my first experience with the band was, I was at my cousin George's house. No, my Uncle Sean's house. And my cousin George was playing Clint Eastwood on his laptop, and I thought, that looks really cool. I thought it was like a Cartoon Network show or something like that, because that's what the style Jamie Hewlett was going for. because Gorillaz is made by Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett. Uh, Damon Albarn is the musician, and uh, Jamie Hewlett is the cartoonist, the guy who makes the storyboards and stuff for animations. And he made the characters and stuff. It's really cool. And so I thought, hey, that looks like a really cool animation. And then I never saw it again for a while. Until one day the almighty YouTube algorithm gave me Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz. And
That's really cool.
I was so confused. Because if anyone's seen the Clint Eastwood video, you will know what I'm talking about. It is such a weird video if you do not know what is going on. And so basically after that, I just watched basically all of the videos. On Melancholy Hill, Stylo, Feel Good Inc., Dirty Harry, not Rock the House. I did not watch Rock the House that much, which was the one where Dell was a giant and they were like in weird costumes, and Murdoch had a pad over his penis. And that's all I remember from the video.
What?
That's all I remember. They were throwing around balls, and Murdoch was throwing around his balls. But after that, I was basically a fan of Gorillaz, and I would download the audio from the videos off of a website called yt2mp3.com. I don't know if you know what that website is, but it's basically just...
I do not.
It's basically just getting links for YouTube videos and then downloading the audio for them. I would do that with Gorillaz videos.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I would put them on my MP3 player, and then I would listen to the videos. And if you've ever seen the Stylo video, you would know that listening to the video is very weird because there's sound effects and stuff of like Bruce Willis shooting at Murdoch in 2D and stuff.
Now I want to do that.
It's really nostalgic for me because I would listen to those songs all the time. I would only listen to the singles because those were the ones that were made into videos. So back then, I didn't really know much about the band and stuff. But then around 2017, the Saturn's Bars video came out. And me and my brothers gathered around a computer and we watched it. And it was so cool to see a brand new Gorillaz thing, because I thought the band was done and stuff. Because back then, like around 2016 when I first started getting into the videos, Humans hadn't come out yet, and I was a freaking baby, so I wasn't allowed on the internet back then because my youngest brother said the F word at dinner, which is a true story.
Dang, that sounds like a nice story.
I'm gonna go on an irrelevant tangent. So back then we were watching a YouTube channel called SMG4, which was by a guy named Luke. He made he took the game and he put the characters in like green screen and stuff, and he would put captions on the videos, and characters in the videos would just do random stuff. There were a lot of memes and there were a lot of swear words. And so all of us watched that, and we were like, I don't know, I think my youngest brother was like 6 or 5. And at dinner, we were talking about stuff, and he was like, yeah, what the F word? And then we told them that he got it from a YouTube video, and we weren't allowed on YouTube since, until recently.
Damn. It sounds really rough.
Yeah, we not only
Why would you let your 6-year-old brother watch that? Why would you do that?
Well, I thought that...
It has swear words.
Well, yeah, but back then we were all pretty young, and we all knew not what words not to say, and we assumed that he would know that too, but he didn't.
Actually,
Freaking
weren't.
freaking baby. But it's whatever.
You've been a baby too.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
everyone started off as babies.
I know. I'm not proud of it, but I was a baby. Uh, so
That was a fun tangent.
yeah, I agree. So after that, the Sirens Bars video came out, and that was the only video from the Humans album that I watched because I did not know that any others existed. I think I might have started to watch the Sleeping Powder video, but I really didn't like the motion capture 3D animation because I still don't really like that kind of animation for those characters because it's really janky and it's really weird. I think they used up most of their budget for Saturn's bars, but I'm not sure. Uh,
Mm.
but the songs for the videos are really good. Then after that, not too long, 2018, the video for Humility came out, and then the video for Trans came out, and I was like, dude, these songs are awesome. And I think the first full album I listened to was the Now Now, which is why it's one of my favorites.
That makes sense.
And
So
then,
you practically sort of grew up with this.
kind of. I mean, I think I was like, I think I watched Clint Eastwood in like 26. I think I was 11 when I first watched Clint
Mhm.
Eastwood, so like 4 years ago or so. Not really that long ago. So I guess I kind of grew up with it. Not as much as like I grew up with the Wii and Wii Sports Resort, but
Well, that makes sense.
I still grew up with it, and it's something that I've loved basically ever since. And I've basically snowballed into liking every single Gorillaz songs, and I've listened to the entire discography.
That's honestly impressive. I've watched like a couple of videos and I mostly know the singles.
Yeah,
So,
did you watched all of the the new videos that came out, right? For the newest album? Because they were released in like episodes.
oh yeah, I didn't manage to do that yet. I was planning to do that today because I just got back from being in another country. So, I gotta
Right.
do that.
Well, the last video, The Lost Chord, is really good, especially the ending. So,
Ooh,
I'm not gonna
gonna
spoil
watch
it
that then.
because it's a really fun video. Uh, anyways, yeah, that's my experience with Gorillaz, and I've basically been listening to their stuff ever since, and I've loved the new stuff that they've come out with. Like, Song Machine Season 1 is it's just a fantastic album. I absolutely love it.
Agreed.
And the Meanwhile EP that came out last week, dude, there's such a good, those are great songs. I know you haven't listened. I know you haven't listened to them, but they're really good.
I'm gonna take your word for it then until I can watch them all.
Yeah. And I've basically become that one person who likes a band so much that they say that every song is good.
That makes sense.
But I do know that not every song is good. Like, Gorillaz is a band where they don't really have a particular style. Like, if you were to listen to like the original self-titled album, and then if you were to listen to like Humans, those are two very different sounding albums.
Yeah.
There's
Even stuff like when you listen to. Hmm?
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Even when you listen to like Clint Eastwood and then Trapped, you can't figure out if it's the same band because it just sounds so different.
Yeah. A lot of the Now Now songs have sort of like they have more 2D vocals. So I think a lot of people who listen to Clint Eastwood would like the Now Now more, but it is a very different sounding album than Clint Eastwood. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, right. The original self-titled album has that like 2000s pop punk band vibe, if you know what I'm saying. And some of the songs on there, like kind of like I don't know, Blink 182. Is that like I don't know if that's 2000s, but kind of has the same vibe as like Gorillaz. And a lot of some of their songs on the self-titled album do kind of have that vibe. Like 5-4 definitely has the 2000s pop punk kind of vibe to it. Why am I using the word vibe? I hate that word. Has like
Then try and find a better word.
like a feel for it. Is that I don't know. I think the word vibe, I think it's cringy when adults use it. Okay? And that's my hot take.
That makes sense.
Because like if you're using it as like a teenager, that it seems like a very teenager-ish word. Like I've seen it a lot. Like a lot of my friends are teenagers, and they use the word vibe. So when I'm watching the sitcom Will and Grace, it's very weird to hear the adults say vibe. Okay, that's my hot take, and no one can disagree.
Honestly, that's pretty fair. No, people can disagree.
What's your opinion?
I've become desensitized to hearing adults say cringy words.
Like what? What kind of words? What kind of cringy words?
For example, just saying the word like repeatedly.
Like
I have heard
like
girls
shaggy.
manage to say a long sentence. I wish.
Shaggy's
but
cool.
A bit worse. He is, but most people aren't.
Yeah. Most people that use
You're cool though.
Most people use the word like are either teenagers who are cool, shaggy, or adults trying to be cool.
And failing. But
And
yes.
failing. Trying to be hip with the kids, as they say.
Yep. And then just saying that sentence alone makes them lose the battle.
What, trying to be hip with the kids?
Yes.
I mostly just say that just to make fun of people who are trying to be cool. And, I don't know the right word. Like, cool and modern. I don't know.
Cool and hip.
Cool and hip. I don't think anyone uses the word hip anymore except when talking about the actual human hip.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Wait, no. I do know someone who uses the word hip. My one of my old teachers used to use it constantly. She was one of my psychology teachers.
Oh my god. Like in what way would she use hip? Like to describe something?
To describe a lot of things.
This hot dog is so hip.
I'm gonna leave my cat alone. One sec.
All right.
She's mad and has bitten me.
Aw. Anyways, back to the topic of Gorillaz, which is what this podcast is about. But tangents are good.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten that.
Tangents are good. It gives
They
us
are.
gives us content. People love listening to this stuff, right?
I guess they do.
Like, there's this podcast that I basically based this entire idea off of. And so the guy who made it basically deserves all the credit for this idea. But not really, because it's Gorillaz. There's this podcast called What's With These Homies Talking About Weezer by Matt Apodaca. And it's basically about Weezer, people talking about the band, going through the albums, and it's such a good podcast. And I wanted to basically do the same thing, but with Gorillaz, because there are barely any Gorillaz podcasts out there. And there are none that have been updated to today. And I think that is just a tragedy.
So we must fix the tragedy.
We must go back in time and we must upload this podcast go in the past so that we could be famous in the future. Or we could just
That's a good plan.
Or we could just make it now.
That would be easier. Let's go with that.
We don't have any time machines. We're not Gorillaz. We don't have time machines. Do they have a time machine? I'm not sure.
That.
They seem like the kind of band that would own a time machine.
I mean, if they don't, I will honestly be disappointed.
I mean, in one of the newest videos, Valley of the Pagans, they're driving a car that goes through a portal. And even when they're driving the car, they're doing it in GTA 5, so who knows? Maybe they do have like a interdimensional portal. And they do go back to Plastic Beach in The Lost Chord.
Cooler. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Also, this is just a random thing. I will always consider the Rhinestone Eyes video to be canon, even though it's only a storyboard. Because that is just a really cool finale to the Plastic Beach videos. And I just think that if it ever gets animated, like, I know there was a fan animation that was really good, but like if it ever gets like truly animated, then that would just be so cool. But I doubt it ever will be.
Let's hope it does get animated by the I've
people.
already forgot his name. What was the name of the guy who animates the things?
Jamie Hewlett. He basically made the characters and pretty much
I should go look it up.
hand did the animations for Clint Eastwood. I think there's like in the storyboard for Clint Eastwood, you can see the original animation for 2D's mouth moving and stuff. It's really cool.
Hola, creo que se me ha cortado toda la conexión. Porras.
I don't know what that means.
What means?
You just said something.
Oh, porras?
Yeah.
Kind of like an expression for darn it, I guess.
Okay.
Not really sure what the translation is.
Just something you say.
Yeah, when you're annoyed at the world.
I should memorize that so I can say it all the time.
That's a good plan.
Agreed. Anyways, I think that's pretty much all we can talk about with Gorillaz, at least right now, without like truly getting into the albums and stuff, or the
That's
lore,
true.
or characters. Like, I mean, Gorillaz there's a lot of things to talk about with Gorillaz. Like the kind of impact it had, like the way that like the messages that the songs have, but do either of us sound like we know a single thing about music or analyzing music? No.
Not really. All I do know is that Gorillaz was like the first band that was digital originally.
Yeah, the first
But I don't know.
virtual band, like with cartoon characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say it.
Which is really cool.
The best virtual band.
I only know that one virtual band, so I really can't say much.
You know what? Same. I only know Gorillaz. So. Like, what other...
Well, then where's the competition?
Where's the competition? This is too easy. This virtual band stuff.
We should probably make an episode about that and find the... Yeah. We should probably make like an episode and just find out what the competition is.
Yeah. See if anyone's made like a Gorillaz ripoff. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. It would be.
Future episode maybe. We don't have any social media for this podcast. This is basically us goofing off. But this is pretty much...
But that's sort of the fun of it.
Yeah, that's true. We're not a professional podcast, if you could tell.
No kidding.
We're kind of wacky. We're kind of goofy. We're not like other podcasters. We're kind of wacky. Anyways, that's pretty much...
Need an outro.
Anyways, that's probably just gonna be the end of this video. Not video. Gotta get the YouTube out of my mouth. Yuck. Anyways.
Good luck.
That's gonna be the end of this episode because we've got a lot more stuff to talk about in the future, which may or may not include the albums, characters, lore, and apparently Gorillaz ripoffs.
Yes.
So that's gonna be all.
So then...
And stay tuned for the next episode because this is really fun.
Indeed.
Bye.
Till next time.
Bye.